I'm going to start off my conversation with this next gentleman simply by giving you a bit of a trigger warning. I believe there will be content shared over the next wee while that might be triggering for some. I don't necessarily know why, because I often hear at KCLR, the team behind the scenes, whether it's Tom Hurley or as it is this morning, producing Una Newell Downey, they'll tell me very little about somebody who's coming in to join us in studio. The man in question this morning, who I've been told very little about, is Adam Nolan. And all I know of Adam is what I've seen of him in the last minute and a half during the news, and also the fact that he's organising a free group meditation sessions, which he's going to tell us about shortly. But before that, he's been through a tough period, and he's here to share that story. And that is where my knowledge of Adam Nolan starts and ends. Adam, good morning, lovely to meet you.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
So I suppose we better start with this tough bit. I'll tell you what, before this tough period, tell us about Adam Nolan, the boy. I love finding out about where people came from, their family, where they grew up, etc.
Well, I'm from Kilkenny, Madeline Street. I'm a musician. I'm a saxophone player. So that's what I spent most of my teenage to adult life doing. I released many albums, about 19. So I did it in a very intense way,
Right.
And it was after college. I did college in WIT. So
What did you study in college?
Music, yeah. And I just love free jazz. I love out there things, things people aren't into, or generally aren't into. I love interesting topics, and I got into meditation after college, and it's called multi-dimensional meditation.
Okay.
So it can bring you into altered states of consciousness. So this is the healthy way, and the way that I encourage people to go. My story is a bit complex. I was meditating for years, and I was a struggling jazz musician. I was very happy with a lot of the stuff I released, but to make a living off free jazz in Ireland is quite tricky,
When I think about my own very eclectic taste with the music, I love jazz music, but I love particularly the structured sort of jazz music, the likes of your Count Basie's, and people who made music that you could follow. If you know what I mean. Whenever I see the sort of more fluid, more arty stuff that's very, what I might say is self-indulgent and difficult to get into, that's where I go, no, that's the line that's drawn for me. Which side of that line were you on? Were you
I'd be far out.
Would you?
To be honest, yeah. Like, I like the traditional stuff as well, and I've played the traditional
The boring stuff, as you say.
It is boring.
Is
for
it?
me, anyway, because I with free jazz, you get to express yourself fully, and you're in the moment, and it's about creating, improvising in the moment. So this is where a lot of meditation came to really aid me in my journey, because meditation is about bringing you into the flow state.
Yeah.
And the more that you can stay in the flow state, the more you're flowing through life. And with free jazz, it's about creating in the moment, in a flow state.
Okay.
So that really aided that. But
so you're this quite prolific, but as you described, I think struggling jazz musician from a financial perspective.
I guess so. If I was in another country, if I was in maybe Berlin or America, it'd probably be easy. But in Ireland, not everyone's really into it. It's very niche.
You are somebody who's into meditation. Where did you think that the interest in meditation came from?
If I'm being honest, I used to be a big smoker of weed.
Okay.
And I used to enjoy...
So you used to get off your head on weed, and you used to like that sort of...
I used to
vibe.
like that euphoric kind of spacey world, and because I was a jazz musician as well, it kind of blended in. And eventually it was getting to the stage where I was like, I'm not even enjoying this anymore. I want to get natural highs.
Okay.
So that's where meditation came in. It's the healthier option. It's good for you. And it doesn't cost you a fortune.
Well, I can understand the cost element of it for sure, but people are always telling me that there's nothing unhealthy about smoking marijuana or weed.
I don't know. you see, for me, I had a good time on it, to be honest. And I mainly stopped because it was costing me money. But I don't know, there's a lot of different opinions about it. Honestly, where I am in life now, I'm in a very sober place. I don't do drugs, I don't drink, I smoke cigarettes, but otherwise I don't do anything, you know.
Harder to get off the cigarettes than most of the rest of them. So let's continue with the story of your life to this point in time. You're in college, you're studying the thing that you love, music. You are dabbling in drugs, you are into meditation. Where does the story go from there?
So the story goes, I was meditating for years. I got to, with the type of meditation that I teach, like I said, it's called multi-dimensional meditation. It brings you into bliss state, long periods of bliss states. And I feel in Ireland, personally, there's a lot of trauma in Ireland. There's a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety. And for different reasons like that, I got into meditation. And
was there trauma in your life?
No, not really. Maybe bits, not really.
So what were the bits then?
I suffered from depression and anxiety. You know, they were big parts of growing up, you know. And I guess I seeked weed as the way to solve that, you know. But if we are talking about trauma, what I really have to discuss is what happened. So this is where it all went terrible. I basically, there's these plants that people can take when they're on their spiritual journey, and the plants are like ayahuasca. I don't know if you ever heard of that.
I have, yeah. I've actually done, I would say research on it, but I've seen a few documentaries talking about ayahuasca. I've seen supposedly people in South America on a journey. I've seen people doing all sorts of mad stuff, puking all around them, doing all sorts of stuff that you think, whoa.
Yeah, it's far out stuff. So basically, I was in the middle of a depression. I felt like I was struggling. Like I said, I released about 19 albums. I was very prolific, but I wasn't getting paid for it. You know, I was putting all my money into it. I was in a stressful place in life, and I was in a very tough place. But I was very driven, and I had this very masculine energy of hard life, hard man, hard work, get the rewards, get the results. So, and I was big into Kung Fu at the time, so Bruce Lee was a bit of an
icon for you.
Yeah, and one of his philosophies was, this is where things get mad now. So one of his philosophies was, don't wish for an easy life, wish for the strength to endure a hard life. So that was a big philosophy for me, especially because in the meditation world, as a healer or a shaman, you experience this extremes of highs and lows, you know, if you want to kind of go into that world, in my opinion. And I experienced a lot of them, and I ended up in this middle of a depression that I had. I ended up connecting with a friend, an old friend, and he suggested taking the acacia root and jurema plant. These are very similar to ayahuasca, psychedelic plants, spiritual psychedelic plants. So they were talking to me before this, and like the shaman said to me, you're a bit down, aren't you? You're not in a great place, basically, he was saying. And in my opinion, he shouldn't have let me do it. He knew I wasn't in a good place.
We'll go on that story then as to what happened when you did do it, what you experienced and what the outcomes were. But I hope you don't mind me saying, I think there's a bit of a conflict between some of the mantras that you carried through your life and some of the approaches that you had dealing with those stresses. When you take that Bruce Lee quote, you know, asking not for an easy life but for the strength to endure a difficult life. That seems very at odds to me from the type of thing that you would experience if you're meditating or if you're taking these drugs, which is to get away from it all, to sort of to check out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you square that circle then?
how do I square it? I guess naturally I was just a very driven young man, and the meditation would calm me down, you know, and it would bring me into different states
But
of mind.
people would say that, you know, whatever about being a driven young man, that doesn't fit with taking drugs to get away from it all.
No, I guess I like to explore.
Right.
I was big into exploring consciousness.
Yeah.
And that's what brought me to meditation.
Okay. So the shamans were talking to you. I don't know how you become qualified to be a shaman, to be honest with you, but maybe that's something we can talk about more in a moment. Give us the names. Well, maybe we should, maybe we shouldn't. But tell us again.
I don't want to.
No, not them necessarily. I'm talking about what were they suggesting that you take again?
It was the acacia root and the Jurema plant.
Okay, so where did you take them?
I went to this retreat in Kerry, and
advertised online, was it, or just you had to be in the know?
A person that I knew recommended to me, you know, and he was always kind of recommending this stuff. And I, to be honest, I wasn't into it. I was getting my highs from meditation.
Yeah.
I was in a driven place. I was struggling with maybe a depression because I felt like all the work I'd done wasn't going anywhere, you know. But I still wanted that fight. I still felt like it was worth doing. So basically, before you take the plant, you make an intention. And this is a way of opening up your world to the psychedelic.
Is this in the same way that people might wake a wish and then blow out a birthday candle?
I suppose so, yeah. A little bit like that.
Right.
So basically, I made the huge mistake. This is this mistake, one of the biggest mistakes of my life. So they were telling me before we done this plant, they were saying we can live in a life without suffering. So I didn't buy that because all my suffering led to the creation of my albums. It was very intense stuff that I was writing.
Yeah.
If you ever heard any of my music, it's far out there. Like it's intellectual, it's spiritual, it's logical. There's a lot to it, and it's very emotional as well. It's very driven kind of music. So, in my intention, I said, and I didn't want to be one of these people meditating the whole time, not contributing to society. I wanted to be someone to make a difference, you know, and to help people and go through hard trials. And it seemed like to me the delusion that I was in was the hard life was the life worth living over the easy life, because it would have more rewards and I would make a bigger difference to people. So,
what was the intention that you put into your mind before you took these drugs?
So the intention I made was, I don't want the easy life. I want the hard life and the strength to keep going.
Okay.
So that was the big mistake.
Why? Because you got it?
That's exactly what I got. Yeah, I ended up going through a psychosis for 7 months after taking the plant. And I was just seeing my family, like in my mind, I was seeing my family die, all the worst things that were possible happening to me and happening to my family and my loved ones. Things just really, I keep getting in my head, I keep getting the words hard life, hard life, hard life, hard life. And what I found out later is this was a new belief. In psychology, your beliefs basically dictate your reality. They dictate the thoughts that stem from that belief. So the hard life thought was I basically manifested a hard life.
Okay. Adam, Nolan, our guest, as I said, you're hearing about his journey, his story, as I am, moment by moment. It's really interesting. We're going to take a short break if that's okay with you. You've got time to stay with us. We're going to continue that conversation and we're going to hear about this manifest hard life that you asked for, that was delivered to you. What that psychosis was like over those months, and what's been going on since then. Adam, stay there.
Thank you.
Yeah, perfect. Let's start, you right?
Yeah. There's a lot in it, I know. It's kind of like.
And there'll be times when I'll challenge you, you know, on bits and pieces and stuff.
Yeah,
like
I don't mind that.
Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah, it's conversation.
Yeah, it's good.
Panicked there for a minute because I thought that ad break wasn't going to work. That whole manifesting stuff, right? It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because since it's only you and I here, there's something that I really want,
Yeah.
Right? And
What do you want?
I won't tell you what it is, but
Okay.
there's something that I really want.
Is it material or is it a way of
It's
living?
a way. And
Okay.
it's a bit of both. It's material and it's a way. And I've been not manifesting it, I've been thinking about it a lot and working towards it, for example. And it gets to the point where it's actually something, it's a thought that jumps into my mind probably 10 times a day now at this stage.
Okay.
I don't know whether that's a positive result of me manifesting it, because I never set out to for it to become manifest. It's just something that I wanted.
Do you want it to happen?
Yeah.
What I would say is keep kind of repeating that thought, that belief, and also embody that.
Yeah, absolutely. I've changed how I approach different parts of my life to try and replicate, I suppose, what it would be like should it happen. We'll talk about more afterwards.
Cool.
We're talking to Adam Nolan. I've learned in the last few moments about him. I've learned that he grew up in Magdalen Street, saxophone player, studied at WIT. He's into the mad jazz, the stuff that I'm not that big a fan of. He's also experimented with lots of psychedelic drugs and meditation.
Yeah.
Culminating in him trying something at a quote unquote, and I'm using air quotes, I don't mean to be rude, but I'm using air quotes, quote unquote, retreat in Kerry. Whereby he tried something that was going to help him manifest what he thought he wanted, which was a hard life and the strength to deal with it. And he got it, because he spent 8 months, I think you said?
7 months.
7 months in his psychosis, as opposed to psychotic, which is a different sort of thing. How quickly after, tell me about taking it. What happened?
During the ceremony, you go through a psychedelic experience. You're seeing visions, you're seeing different things happening, and basically what happened to me, so I have a lot of information about what happened, because I ended up seeing psychologists. I went to a healer recently, and a healer removed 3 entities from my body. One of them was an extraterrestrial entity, so I know how far out this is,
Right.
But that would be in the spiritual world. That would be
three entities.
3 entities.
You said extraterrestrial. I'm going to say alien because it's easier to say.
For sure.
You had an alien inside you, and who were the other 2?
2 entities. I didn't ask any more questions about it.
Right.
But that's what was removed from my body. And
how did the healer? This is getting. I'm going to have to draw a mind map to keep going back to this. So how did this healer remove these 3 entities from your body?
In a ritual.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a ritual to remove them as a result of taking a psychedelic drug at a retreat.
Yeah.
That caused them to get inside you.
Yeah. Basically, what the healer told me is when you take these psychedelic drugs, you can leave your body. Your consciousness can leave the body. So that leaves room for entities to come into the body. And I'm not trying to scare anyone here or anything like that. I'm just trying to speak my truth,
Yeah. So it must have been very. Would you describe it as being a crowded place then, your body, in that 7 months between?
I was in a loop of this hard life concept. I was constantly, my mind, no matter what was happening, if I dropped my phone on the ground, hard life would come into my mind.
Right.
If the conversation wasn't flowing, hard life would come into my mind. It was happening all the time, and it was spurring on negative thoughts of suicide and so on. So eventually, this went on for 7 months. I gave up meditation. I went back to my Catholic roots, and I was praying every day. I prayed,
which is, let's face it, a form of meditation.
Yeah, it's like a mantra, the prayers. But I went to countless priests to bless me. None of it worked. If I'm being honest, none of it worked.
When you say none of it worked,
the prayers I think helped, but I ended up attempting suicide then.
Oh.
So I jumped off the car park of the Ormond. And this was about 7-8 months into the psychosis.
Well, just let me say at that point, because now that you're talking about suicide, that if anybody's out there experiencing those types of thoughts, as we'll hear, I'm sure from your story, there are lots of opportunities for people to get help out there. You can find those help lines on the KCLR website, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah.
So things got so bad that you were scrambling around. This is my view of or understanding of this story. You're scrambling around for creative inspiration, like a way of life that brings you to this retreat in Kerry, where you take these drugs that cause this problem, something that you think you've manifested or asked for because you got the messaging wrong in your head. You're then at a healer where you're talked about these entities, 3 of them, one's an alien that's inhabiting your space. You're scrambling around for a solution to that problem, going to mass, going to priests, praying, and none of it is working.
None of it worked. I ended up in hospital for 3 months, and I broke my back.
Sorry, stop. Go back a bit, right? Go back to... None of it is working, which creates a frustration in you, I'm guessing. You also got this mantra, hard life, hard life, hard life, hard life.
Constantly,
And these things combine for you to have suicidal thoughts. How aware of those thoughts were you?
Very aware.
How aware were you of those thoughts being dangerous?
Very aware.
And while you were aware of the fact that you were having suicidal thoughts and the potential outcome of that, of course, why didn't
I go somewhere?
Yeah.
I was trying everything. Like I went to my doctor, mentioned that I went through a psychosis, and then there was one day I kind of freaked out and I was having a lot of suicidal thoughts, and there was talks about maybe going to hospital, getting medication, and for me at the time I was thinking, this is a spiritual problem, this isn't a psychological problem. I thought I was in a curse, basically. It was, my consciousness was trapped in an altered state of misery. So like I said, this went on for 7 months, and it was awful. So after I jumped, I survived, obviously.
So you get to the point whereby you said you jumped off a car park, is that?
Yeah, car park.
What's gone through your mind when you're going up in the lift or going up in the stairs to the top floor of a car park?
At that time, I felt so low that I felt a burden on everyone, and I felt like it's just time for me to leave. I've tried everything. So I thought. So I said 3 Hail Marys before I jumped off the car park.
What were you praying for?
Freedom, I guess. Freedom. Or maybe the salvation of my soul.
Right.
So I survived, thank God. And
what height did you jump from? Do you know?
I can't.
Which floor of the car
park?
It was
the top. It was the second top.
Okay.
Yeah, just before the very top.
How, I was going to use an expression there, which is, it's got a spiritual element to it, weirdly enough. I was going to say, how in God's name did you survive?
The people in the hospital said it was a miracle I survived. They also said it's a miracle that I can walk because my spine exploded. Exploded isn't the word, but it burst.
Yeah.
And I was in bed I was in a coma. It was the worst. It was absolutely, I can't describe how bad it was, but it was a horrible, horrible period of my life.
Have you any memories at all of the moments, minutes after impact?
No, I remember just falling, and then
nothing.
Next scene, I'm in hospital. So lately, like I said, I went to a healer and she removed 3 entities, and after that life started getting amazing again. I've been on antipsychotic medication since hospital, you know, and did it work? I believe it probably aided me. I don't think it did everything, but it maybe aided me. And what I would encourage people to do is, if they are having suicidal thoughts and it's getting to the level where they could end up attempting suicide, I would advise people, okay, this is time for you to go to the DOP, the Department of Psychiatry, and because that's like a safeguard, it's like a safe net. I ended up going there,
So what about the GP as a starting point then? Because that would be generally where I would recommend that somebody goes to at that point, so that the GP can then guide them. There's the Samaritans out there. Should they not just be reaching out to everybody for help if things are that bad?
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess so. I was kind of anti-medication. I wasn't anti it, but like I wanted to sort everything out by myself.
Because one of the things that I'm really, really conscious of here, and it's sort of reflected in your story, is that maybe different things, different organizations work differently for different people.
Yeah.
And it's all well and good, for example, if you're trying to decide where's your favourite coffee shop, that you might try one today and one tomorrow, and eventually you'll find your favourite coffee shop.
Yeah.
But when you're under pressure, whereby your life is in jeopardy and something drastic could happen at any moment, would you suggest to people that they should just dive right in and grab and reach out for help from any location at the same time to try and prevent?
I guess so, but what I would say from my experience now, from what I learned, just go straight to your DOP. Just go in, tell them, look, I'm not well. I'm having suicidal thoughts. I need to be out, and just be very firm and direct with them. Tell them exactly how you're feeling.
That you need to be in care. You need somebody looking after you. You need assistance, and you need help.
Yeah, because after the suicide attempt, I was in hospital for 3 months. Then after those 3 months, I was home, and I was still having this hard life thought. It was still happening, even though I had the medication. I was still having this hard life thought. So I ended up in August. The suicide attempt was in November 23, and then in August I ended up going into the DOP for a month. So I was having a lot of suicidal thoughts, but I didn't want to attempt suicide at this stage. I learned from my mistake.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I have to sort this out, and I didn't know how. I felt hopeless.
Yeah.
They gave me medication, and I was praying. I prayed to Saint Dibna, the patron saint of mental health, and then I got a lot of relief from that. Peace came into my mind and started to take it over my mind, and I felt amazing. But then I kind of went low again. So then eventually the psychologist came into me, and she said, instead of hard life, think I'm recovering from a psychosis. So this is where my biggest points and the beautiful world that comes out of everything, success, because this is where neuroplasticity comes in. Neuroplasticity is reprogramming your mind.
Yeah.
And this is what I struggled to do. Is I didn't know that this hard life thought was a belief. I just thought it was a thought. But I changed my belief basically to this is I'm recovering from a psychosis. Then everything faded away, and I was good enough to come home. Everything was great again.
So you've survived quite a lot at this point in time. You've survived the challenges of being a teenager, which can often be traumatic for people, even if they don't face the challenges and the types of challenges that you do. You went through college, you survived the early drug abuse, which can be fatal for some people as well. Then the trip to Kerry, the psychosis that followed, the attempt that you took to end your own life. You survived that unbelievably.
Yeah, I don't know
how. I refrain from using the word miracle. I know it's part of the Irish vernacular, but again, it suggests higher powers, as in...
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Is there?
I don't think so. I believe there was...
So what I'm trying to get at is it time for you to take control of your own life rather than... And as much as we can. I mean, there's things out there that we cannot control. I mean, people, for example, that were killed in the Air India crash recently, for example, I'm sure many of them had total control of their own lives.
Right.
Something happens.
Yeah.
But rather than looking for interventions, or looking for divine interventions...
I think for me personally, it was a bit of both. A lot of it with the neuroplasticity reprogram. So like anytime I have a hard life thought now, I think easy life. and I'm living in bliss at the moment. If I'm being honest, I this is probably one of the best periods of my life that I've ever had. You know, I still have my injuries and stuff like that, but I guess life is in a pretty good place, you know, and that's why I want to bring meditation to people. I feel like I've experienced the worst of the worst, and I feel my path now is to become a healer and someone that can make a difference to people's lives, because I understand the levels of consciousness, how low things can go. I can tell the difference between when someone's having a spiritual experience or is someone having a psychotic experience.
Adam, if I ask you to stay with us,
Yep.
right, and we talk about those meditation sessions, can you promise me that, you know, people are not going to end up going down to retreats in Kerry and taking stuff that
No,
they probably shouldn't?
They won't be.
Right, stay with me. We'll have another little chat after this break.
Go.
Just checking.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what? No, I'll tell you on air. I won't say it off air. Interesting. Yeah, but it's interesting, like, how, for me, I'm like, and there's been times, like we were talking with the outbreak, where I wake up in the morning and my first thought of the day is about this thing that I want to achieve.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's, isn't it, there's been times I've been thinking about, right, that's good, because it's a target that I'm working towards. And then other times I'm thinking, you got to be careful, because you can't let this run away with yourself, because if it doesn't happen, how do you then deal with the disappointment of it not happening? You know what I mean?
I understand. Well, if you think it's a positive outcome, I would embody it.
Would you?
Yeah, that's what I would try. Live the life that you would be living if you had that.
Yeah.
Try not live in lack of it. Try fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I would advise anyway.
Yeah. Can you ask?
Great news for Lidl shoppers. We've introduced Lidl points on the Lidl Plus app. Earn points every time you shop. Then simply cash them in for money or vouchers or your favourite items for free. The more you shop, the more you save. Scan the new and
Yeah, I got those messages. That's all cool. With Ushin. Is Ushin in the building or on WhatsApp?
with Brian Redmond.
I'll call him then, cool. Yes, Adam Nolan stayed with me, right? Because the reason I asked you that question before the outbreak of when we were going to talk about your meditation sessions, that you would promise me that you wouldn't be talking about the sort of chemical stuff that you got involved in.
No.
They're poisons, right?
Yep.
And you know that now?
Yep. I really know it.
Yeah.
When I took that plant, the word CUNT keep coming into my head. This was during it over and over again for about 7 hours.
Have you ever spoken to somebody who would be, let's say, a chemical expert, maybe a herbologist, I don't know what the phraseology is, but somebody who would be able to say, oh yeah, well the reason you experienced that psychosis for 7 months after taking that is because this thing has a chemical in it that affects your brain?
Yeah, I think I wouldn't have the scientific wording for it, but these things aren't to be messed with. You know, I showed
And would
up,
you include cannabis within that?
in my opinion, yeah. I don't, like I said, I used to be a big smoker weed, but that leads to psychosis as well. And when I was in the DOP, apparently the psychologist told me that she told me that a lot of psychoses happen because of cannabis, overusing it. Sobriety is the way if you want to be in the light, in my opinion.
Yeah, it sort of makes sense, really. I think, just having this conversation with you, it sort of makes sense in relation to all drugs, whether that's nicotine, whether it's alcohol, whether it's cannabis or anything else, because human evolution brings us to the point whereby our bodies are born, unless you're unfortunate enough to have a parent who's an addict, our bodies are born in a particular state, and we're all different. But none of us need nicotine or alcohol or CBT or whatever the other, I'm not great on them, but whatever the other chemical elements are, none of us need them in our bodies, because surely if we did, evolution would have brought us to the point whereby we were born like hormones or other things with those things in our body.
We have the capabilities to achieve altered states of consciousness ourselves without any use of drugs.
Yeah.
And this is where I'm getting to, because with the meditation I teach, it can bring you to levels of peace, happiness, joy.
Okay, but as soon as you promised me that you're not going to be taking people on retreats down to Kerry and giving them anything, tell us about the meditation.
So it's based off 3 chakra points, and these are energy points in your nervous system. And the first one is the lower chakra, which is also called the sacral chakra. It's just below your belly button. This is for grounding, for logic, directness, and amongst other things. And the second chakra is the heart chakra. This is for joy, happiness, compassion, love. Then the third is the mind chakra, or the third eye. And this is for intuition and other kind of intellect, amongst other things. So basically you charge these 3 chakras and you get into an altered state of consciousness.
How do you charge your chakra?
You put your 2 fingers on the point and you breathe in. You take in prana. Prana is the energy of the universe. If you close your eyes very slowly in the dark, you can see energy everywhere. You have to train yourself to see that.
Surely they're just the little floaty bits that you have in your eyes, though, aren't they?
No, that's you think that's in your eyes. No, this is outside of that. You can see it moving. I know what you mean, because I used to think that as well. I was like,
I just, for those at home, I'm closing my eyes now and I can see little pink floaty bits going around.
Yeah. You can take in this energy because you can see it coming into you. And this is the positive charge of the universe.
I can't see that energy coming into me. Is that because I haven't learned?
You haven't learned. That would be, you have to train yourself to learn how to do this. And it takes a little bit of time, but this is what monks are doing. They're taking in this cosmic energy and they're bringing themselves into altered states of consciousness.
Yeah.
So basically what I teach is how to get into these positive states of mind. And if you want to go further, I can teach you to go further. But generally what I want people to experience is peace.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we all want peace in our life.
Don't we?
There's two parts to that. I mean, it's interesting.
Yeah.
I watched a bit of a documentary on John Lennon and Yoko Ono over the weekend. And the reason I thought about them earlier on in our conversation because maybe the difference was he'd already made millions from being in the Beatles, but it turned out he went on his journey of discovery, whereas your journey of discovery came because you were maybe hoping for something like that, but it wasn't happening for you. But when you mentioned peace again, I thought, right, I've got to bring it up.
Okay.
So they went on a journey of discovery, trying to create peace. But is peace something that everybody has to find for themselves? So you trying to put peace out into the world, or Yoko Ono and John Lennon decades ago now at this stage during the 70s, trying to encourage the rest of the world to have a peaceful way of things. You can't make people be different, can you?
Make them... I don't really understand your question.
So when it comes to trying to put peace out into the world...
Yeah, teaching people to achieve peace.
Yeah, can you? Or you believe they can?
Absolutely, yeah. Because it's brought me to peace.
Has it?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I'm in a really... I know the conversation we've just had is pretty rough.
Yeah.
But I'm in a really good place in life now.
I'm also going to say, for a man who threw himself off a building, for a man who spent 7 months in psychosis and took drugs and, God forbid, was into mad jazz music, you look really well. Thank
you. Thanks very much. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm, like I said, on my Instagram, Adam Nolan Official, I have daily updates and I talk about my journey. I'm pretty open with my audience.
What is peace?
What is peace? Peace is... There's a lot of ways to describe it, but contentment, happy where you are, the absence of conflict, a flow state. Yeah.
Is peace dangerous? Because if we're all happy where we are, then nobody progresses.
Yeah, and that was the same reason why I chose the hard life. Because I experienced peace for long, long periods of time, and I done nothing except bask in it. And I think I deserve that, and everyone deserves to bask in peace. But for me, I was big into overdoing conscious states. I was big into overdoing things, so I experienced long periods of peace, and then I was like, wait a second, I haven't done anything on my music at the moment.
Yeah.
So it is about balance, and that's what I teach as well. And balance is the main thing to really bring into your life, and you can have peace as well, but it depends how far you want to go. So then
shouldn't you teach balance rather than teaching peace?
I teach both.
Right.
Yeah, I teach both. I think people want to feel peace first before they feel balance. Especially if someone is suffering from mental health problems.
Okay.
If they're suffering from depression, they don't want to feel balanced. They want to feel lifted. They want to feel happy, joyful.
How quickly can somebody get from a state where they don't feel balanced through the process of understanding peace or finding peace to then create balance? How quickly could that happen for somebody?
How quickly could they get to peace?
Yeah.
Well, what I'm teaching is a 5-week course. It's for €200. The 5th lesson is free. You can pay €50.
Yeah, don't worry about the adverts. We'll get into trouble for episodes. But
sorry.
No, just tell us about the prices and stuff like that.
Apologies.
Yeah, people will be able to find them out. No, don't worry about it.
But it's advertised in my Instagram. But I teach a program where I will give you the skills to learn how to meditate yourself properly, and charge your chakra points, also energy defense, and other aspects that will bring you to peace. So it's a lot of it is about rewiring your brain, and this is what I was talking about with neuroplasticity. This is a relatively young science, and it talks about...
Is neuroplasticity similar to cognitive behavioral therapy?
It'd be similar. Not exactly the same. It'd be rewiring the brain, I suppose. Yeah, because CBT.
Yeah,
I learned a bit about CBT on my journey as well, and you're reprogramming the triggers, the things that trigger you into low states of consciousness, and you're making them more positive. So it's very similar.
Yeah.
I prefer to use the term neuroplasticity because it's all about rewiring.
Yeah.
And like I said, instead of hard life, I have easy life. And like I said, where I am in life at the moment, I'm in a very peaceful place, very happy place. I went to a friend's wedding there a couple of days ago, and I didn't drink, I didn't do anything. I'm in the sober life now, and I went to bed at 10. Everyone was still partying until 4 in the morning.
God, you must have been so boring, mate.
I know. It was kind of like, I felt like, God, am I that boring guy? But I felt great in myself.
Yeah.
I felt great, and I was like, and I wasn't up for the usual talk of the usual. You're looking for more when you're in peace. You're not looking for cheap thrills. You're looking for...
It's funny, I was at an event on Friday night, and somebody said to me, how was the head on Saturday? I said, grand, I had 2 soda waters and left at 10:30.
Oh, okay. Fair play, yeah.
Now, I wasn't doing that out of a conscious decision or battling with... I don't know whether battling with demons is something that you would describe. Just felt like what I wanted to do.
Yeah, well, that's good. I'm not telling anyone to be sober, but for me personally, I believe sober is the best way to achieve higher states of consciousness and be in the light opposed to the dark.
There are, just finally, I suppose, there's going to be challenges probably in your life as a result of those years of looking for that hard life.
Yeah.
The physical challenges that you have now as a result of the impact on your body. Like, what is the impact on your body of those years?
What is the damage done?
Yeah.
Well, I can, without trying to sound bad, I can't achieve an erection anymore, because where my spine burst, it affects that area. But personally, that doesn't bother me because I feel my path is to help people.
You have challenges with mobility?
I get sore if I walk for a little bit. If I
Yeah.
walk like into town and back, I'll be sore.
Yeah.
So I'm still doing the physio work and all
Right.
that. My arm, and that's as far, the audience can't see, but that's as far as my hand moves now.
Yeah. So the rotation of your right arm is literally just a few degrees. Really
Yeah,
more than
a few
that.
degrees. So yeah, I've been to hell and back, but I really feel like I've experienced the worst of the worst, and my goal is to help people achieve the best of the best.
So, carrot and stick. You probably, I suppose, in many ways signify both of those elements of people's learnings. You've got the element of you've been through a particular life's journey that brought pain. Don't go down that road, I suppose,
No.
would be what you'd be saying. But
No.
you've also, through being down that road, experienced a potential other way for people to change their own lives.
Yeah, I've I feel like for a long time I've been basically like some kind of psychologist.
Yeah.
And I've loved exploring different states of consciousness that I have experienced talking about those things. Then,
Well, Adam, from one line that was written on the running order, we've had a long conversation. It's been a
Thank you for
very,
having
very
me.
interesting one, I have to say.
I could imagine. Yeah,
Uh,
it's not for everyone.
yeah, no, well, you know, trying to get on with life and find a balanced way of life is for everybody, I think.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll all agree with that as well. For people who do want to find out more about those meditation sessions, what are those social media handles that you were talking about?
Adam Nolan Official on Instagram.
Yeah, so Adam Nolan Official.
Yeah.
And you'll find him on Instagram.
You'll find me on Instagram, or you can contact me
Yeah.
on WhatsApp.
Yeah, we'll get all that information on Instagram and stuff like that as well.
Okay.
Adam, listen, a pleasure having you in. Thank you
Thank
very
you
much
so
for sharing
much.
the
It's
journey.
a
An
pleasure.
interesting conversation.
Yeah, something different.
Brilliant.
Thanks, Brian.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah.